I'm Bernice Baker. I'm been a part of the Science Museum of Virginia family for a long time, cumulative about 33 years. And I've been in a variety of jobs here. I started out actually as a volunteer and became a part-time person in the Dome, became a projectionist in the Dome, and an assistant manager in the Dome. So running the giant screen films and working with our staffing there for several years. Things have taken a change now, and I'm in a new position. So I'm the community engagement coordinator. And I work with volunteers and also with our Science Within Reach program. So it's come full circle. I came from a volunteer, and now I actually work with and schedule and recruit our volunteers. That's actually how I met Arthur. He is a volunteer. He has been very dedicated with us, and I've had some terrific conversations. And one of those led to what we're going to be talking about today. So Arthur, would you introduce yourself to everyone?
My name is Arthur Guruswamy, and I have a background in molecular microbiology. Got my professional training at the Mayo Clinic and have 10 publications. I've never worked with COVID-19, but I have worked with the technology that is used to prepare the vaccine. And I consider myself to be a serious student of this vaccine. So I'm glad to be of help, and we want to get across accurate information on the vaccine and everything related with it. So glad to be a part of the program.
Thank you. It's wonderful to have you here. And one of the things that I want to say too is that neither Arthur nor I knew that the other was signed up. And our stories are somewhat different in how we came to be a part of a clinical trial for COVID-19. We're both part of AstraZeneca. So I found out that Arthur was participating, and actually I think the day that I talked to you was just before you were going in to get your first shot.
That's right. That's right.
So Arthur, how did you come to make your decision that you wanted to be a part of a clinical trial?
At Mayo Clinic, I have been involved in, participated in many of these studies. And I subscribe to a service called Stat Plus out of Boston. This is accurate insider medical information.
Yes.
Stat Plus sends out little clips every day.
Yeah.
And they informed me through email that the FDA was looking for a few more thousand volunteers for vaccine release information in the United States. Now, the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine has been used in the EU, also in South Africa and South America, but it was the FDA that required a few more thousand cases. And then I contacted AstraZeneca, told them about my background, and they informed me that they had a center in Richmond and that they would pass my information on to them. So I was tremendously motivated to participate in something in a small way that would help bring an end to this crisis.
For me, what happened was partially my curiosity because I'm a science nerd, and also the fact that I had heard, and I've heard for years, that African Americans are underrepresented in test, and that there are certain illnesses, there are certain parameters that can be different, and we can respond differently. Initially, I wasn't thinking there was a great deal of risk. I was really thinking, is it something that I want to do? Should I do it in terms of time? And I had already signed up with Clinical Research Partners to do another study. And it ended up that I wasn't brought into that study. So they had me on their list, and they gave me a call and asked if I wanted to participate with AstraZeneca Oxford. What kind of considerations, did you have any hesitations about it at all, Arthur?
No, I didn't have any hesitations because I have studied a lot of the information that has come out of this Oxford group. Mm-hmm. They are highly respected and regarded. In fact, these are the people, the Oxford group that partnered with AstraZeneca. These are the people who produced penicillin. These are the people who produced, who are significant in producing the Zika vaccine and the Ebola vaccine and the HIV vaccines. And they have an incredible reputation and background. I had studied a lot of their publications before, and anything connected with Oxford University, I was very excited to be a part of.
I can understand that. I was kind of impressed that Oxford was involved as well. For me, there were questions. I talked to family, I talked to my therapist, I talked to some friends, and overall, folks were hesitant. And nobody said don't do it, but they were, I don't know, maybe you should check it out some more. I did some reading, and I decided, I actually made a list of pros and cons, and I decided that I wanted to do it. So then I got canceled, and then I got canceled on another day. And then I was ready to go, and my car was hit and totaled. So it seemed as if there were a lot of hesitations, and I started to feel superstitious about it. So I kind of stepped back and paused and then decided, yeah, I definitely want to do this. And it makes sense for me to do this. So I had more hesitations than you. I actually got more scientific information from panels after I had signed up and had my first shot. Did you have a reaction to the shot, Arthur? Did you have any physical experience with it?
This is interesting. Both my wife and I are involved in this. We are part of Clinical Research Partners study. The classic symptoms of receiving this kind of a shot, just like the flu shot, is localized inflammation. Yeah. So the way AstraZeneca is doing this is in groups of 3. One person receives the placebo, and then 2 people receive the vaccine. So my wife was convinced that she received the placebo because there was no inflammation at all after the first one. She said, being a critical care nurse, she said, I know I got the placebo. And then after the second one, there was no inflammation at all. Whereas in my case, I had a little bit of localized soreness, which is classic after the first one. And the second one, I definitely had inflammation and for maybe 5 hours of localized soreness, but no side effects at all. The soreness went away. Just sort of like the regular yearly flu shot that we all get.
That was the same for me. I didn't have any kind of fever or anything, even flu-like symptoms, but I did have an inflamed sore place on my arm. And the morning I had my shot in the evening, and the next morning I woke up really congested, and that went away by midday, and the soreness was totally gone by the 4th day. However, what I found interesting was the second shot, I had less inflammation and soreness was a shorter period of time. But after I heard you say you felt the inflammation and your wife didn't, then I thought, I bet I got the real deal. of course, it's a blind study, so I don't know, and I won't know unless there's a reason. But it's actually made me a little more confident to just hang out and encourage other people to get their shots and not necessarily be worried about where I would be on the list of vaccination. As you were thinking about this, Arthur, did you consult with anyone else or did you just go with your research?
Went with my research. I have a mentor at Mayo Clinic. His name is Dr. Glenn Roberts. And I discussed it with him. And he also a chief of infectious diseases of Cleveland Clinic, Dr. Prokop, and they were both gung-ho in support of it and told me to do it. And actually, I was about 80% in favor. I didn't have any hesitation. Also, one of the reasons is AstraZeneca has an incredible reputation. If you look in the literature, a lot of the cephalosporin drugs came out of this company that are commonly used. And so I believed in who I was working with. And I knew that what they were doing was top quality stuff.
I really felt more comfortable after I had talked to you and you talked about your professional research and your sense of really being excited and wanting to contribute. I kind of think of myself as an altruistic person, and I think that figured into one of the reasons I wanted to do it. And also curiosity, because I've never been part of a scientific clinical trial. So I had this build up to it. And the actual day that I went in to have my shot was a busy day, a chaotic day. I was trying to buy a car. And then when I went in, it was quiet, it was peaceful, it was straightforward. I got taken in and got my assessment done. So it was almost anticlimactic. When people asked me about it, I felt a little awkward saying, well, it's kind of dull. There wasn't a whole lot to it. And I'm not scared of needles. So it wasn't an issue of getting a shot. It was just, okay, let's get started. And then it was kind of, okay, yeah, I did that. And I really didn't think there was anything special about it. How did people react to you when you told them that you were having you were being part of the study?
90% of those were totally in support. 10% were kind of apprehensive. One lady at I do a small part-time job and at the facility told me, I think this vaccine has done you good because you are starting to look better.
I have not heard that one.
Generally, great majority totally in support of doing something to being instrumental to stop this.
So you don't have any regrets about participating?
No regrets. Tremendous sense of accomplishment, tremendous joy that I have been a part of this. I'm very happy to be a part of this. And now I preach the gospel on the vaccine to everybody that I can come in contact with, even to the Virginia state delegates and senators, I find.
So you've actually gone on to be a proponent. I haven't necessarily done that, but I've tried to reassure people and just let them know that it really wasn't a big deal when I took it. But I had heard some of those same myths that are going around. And I don't even know how that kind of thing gets started.
People that you have talked to after getting the vaccine, have they generally been in support of what you have done, or have they said, you don't know what you're doing, you know, this is the government is doing secret things behind this? have they been generally in support?
I would say generally in support. Nobody who was really concerned that there was a conspiracy going on. But I've been surprised that there are some people, one of my nieces and her daughter, are definitely not going to get it. They have said they want to wait and see how it goes. I would say more of my family that are older are definitely getting it. And friends that are older are definitely getting it. But it seems like some of the people who are younger are waiting to see what happens and holding off a bit.
So on the day of the day of the first visit, I wanted to go over some of my personal experiences. This is at Clinical Research Partners here in Richmond. Mm-hmm. My first thoughts were, am I going to get accepted? You know, they drew blood, they did the COVID-19 test, and I knew they were checking for certain parameters, certain things that they felt that AstraZeneca required in order to be a part of this. So I sat in this room and I wondered what's going to be the verdict. You know, am I going to get selected or am I not going to get selected? So after that was done, the people in charge of the research, they gave me a protocol. They asked me whether I would like to participate in an additional genetic study. They told me about the waivers. They told me that about at least 4 times. This nurse told me, you can back out of this at any time that you want to. And so we went through the general stuff for these kinds of studies. There was no, but at the end of it, you know, they said, you qualify for the study and we're going to give you your first shot. So that was a huge relief because I was a little bit apprehensive as to maybe something in my chemistry or something was not right, you know.
I had some of those concerns too, but I found I was hoping that because they had contacted me and they already had some data from when I had tried to be part of another study for allergies, that maybe it would be fine. But there was a little bit of that tension of, you know, will I fit what they need? And it was a relief when they said, yep, we can go right ahead. I didn't actually expect to get the shot the same day. So that surprised me a little bit. But it was just really straightforward. And I had gotten some of the protocol, I'd gotten the protocol information, a health assessment, a lot of data ahead of time that had been emailed to me. So I had read through, I had written down any questions I had. And so I felt like I was ready to go. I didn't realize they were going to be so ready to go. And it was like, ta-da, okay, what are you going to do with the rest of your night?
So another thing is, in the Mayo Clinic studies that I had participated in for various companies, we were not paid. AstraZeneca, Oxford study, we were paid. This is good because when you are paid, you're more diligent about adhering to the strict protocols. The other thing is, these are difficult times financially for a lot of people.
Yes.
And being paid gives them a little bit of extra money and says, you know, even though you're going through financial hardship, here is some money. We want you to be able to participate in this. And so it broadens the number of the kind of volunteers that are brought in. And in these studies, you want the vaccine to work for everybody. You want the vaccine to work for cancer patients, senior citizens, people with different kinds of diseases. You want the vaccine to work for everybody. So the more people you can bring in, the better.
So we've talked about a lot of things. Arthur, I'm so glad that you were willing to talk with me, and I really appreciate you sharing your professional strength and research with me. That was very helpful. And I think if there was one thing that I would want to tell people, that I wanted people to know, is there's nothing weird about it. I didn't grow an extra eye or horns. None of those conspiracy theories happened in my personal experience. And what I would want people to know is this is something that's happening around the world. Everybody is impacted by this. There's a lot more reasons to take the vaccine than I can think that anyone could really rationalize not taking it. And unless you have some kind of frailty that makes you unable to deal with a vaccine, take it. It's for yourself and for everybody else. Arthur, if you had one thing or a specific message that you wanted to get across to people, what would you say to them?
The Science Museum of Virginia has earned a reputation for being a source of accurate information. So I would encourage the public and anybody listening to this to be an intelligent consumer of information. There's a lot of wild stuff out on social media, but be an intelligent consumer of information. Check out and verify wild claims that are made, and if they don't hold up, don't believe it. Don't go any further. Don't spread that information to get on the phone and spread it to somebody else. But learn to be an intelligent consumer of scientific information.
That's powerful. I think that's true for, in so many ways today, being an intelligent consumer, using your own critical judgment. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. For anyone who's been thinking or has concerns or questions, we are all about giving information at the Science Museum of Virginia and looking for what we can share with people that will help them with those critical decisions. We have a section of our website that's dedicated to the vaccine. We have blogs, we have information that we share with resources for deeper research that you could do on your own. So check out our website. It's smv.org/vaccine, and be thoughtful. When you want to share something with folks, check and make sure that there are some facts to back it up. And we're glad to help you anytime. You can even just call us or send an email, and we'll share, we'll research. If we don't know, we'll say we don't know, but we can look for answers. So thanks everybody for taking your time to watch this video, and stay healthy, be of good cheer, and hang in there.
Yes.
Bye.
Clear.